Hello, welcome back. Now last time I set myself 3 challenges for this episode. The first thing I said I needed to do was to replace my mini chest monster here with an actual storage system. The second thing was to create a big mining machine to actually go mining underground for us. And the third thing was to decorate this whole area. So I flattened this landscape just a little bit more, and the first thing I'm gonna do is just make a very rough path that goes from the door to the windmill over to the door to the iron farm. There we are, there's my path. And thinking about the drilling machine, I've only got enough andesite at the moment to make 4 mechanical drills, which is nowhere near enough for what I'm gonna want, but it's a start. So we're gonna start there, and then we're going to make the machine bigger and bigger as we go along. I'm going to begin then by making a minecart, because this is going to be a minecart contraption. I'm going to combine that minecart with this furnace here, because that will make it self-powering if we put some coal into it. To make our mining contraption, I'm going to need a cart assembler, and for that I need a tiny bit of redstone. So I'm going to drop down into the caves and hopefully find some, because this goes pretty deep. Hello chaps. And occasionally we find these little things. They are urns, and if I break it we get something like flax seeds. Okay, not the most useful thing. And here's the redstone I needed. So now I can make my cart assembler, and it's time to assemble my first cart. Except I've just realised I don't have any super glue, and I'm gonna need that. To make super glue, I'm gonna need slime, and I don't have any slime, but there are some ways we can make it using dough and lime dye. I can get dough, I think, from wheat flour, which I can get from milling wheat. Although I need to, oh yeah, there we go, there's the actual milling stuff. I can do that. And I can get the lime dye by milling various plants and flowers. Well, here's some flowers. Let's see what happens when we mill these. Just go upstairs and we'll drop them into our chute here. Okay, we've got lots of dye, but no lime. Well, we should be able to get green dye from poppies, and we've got plenty of those in the iron farm. Put them down the chute, and all of those as well. We're only getting red dye. We should get green as well. There we go. There's some green dye. So some of that. Some of that. There's our lime dye. And now I want to throw some wheat down there. That gives us wheat flour. And I can just mix the wheat flour with a bucket of water to give me some dough. And the dough with the dye gives me the slime. So now I can make the super glue. There we are. And I can get on with assembling our cart. So what I want to do is lay down a bit of track. Just one bit to begin with. Let's do it here. I put my cart assembler on top of it, and I put my minecart with its furnace underneath. I'm going to grab myself a lever and pop that down there, switch it on, and we've then got a little machine that we can take with us. There we are then. I've just got a simple one wide tunnel going along with rail in the bottom, and I'm just going to pop our contraption down here like so. Put a bunch of coal in the chest and give it a nudge. And having reached the end, we just pick it up, turn it around and send it back again. So what was a 1 block wide tunnel is now a 5 block wide tunnel, and I can simply move the track along to the edges and keep widening it. And of course all the mined blocks end up in the chest, and now we've got plenty of andesite and a few other things to play with. More andesite means we can add more drills, we can mine more blocks at a time. Now that I've got a decent supply of blocks, I guess I better make a start on that storage building. And just like that, we have a storage building. Well, I say it's a storage building, it's a building, there's no storage in it yet, but let me just pop in and show you around. So we've made it using a variant of smooth stone at the top, and then we've got these stone bricks, cobblestone bricks at the bottom. And it's 3 stories high, so we've got plenty of space down here on the ground floor. We've got a first floor here that I've made out of these trapdoors, and then we've got these 4 mezzanine floors that actually give us a second floor up here. But in order to get our actual storage drawers in, we're going to need a drawer controller, and for that we're going to need a couple of comparators. And as we haven't been to the Nether yet, you might think that would be a problem, but it doesn't have to be. You see, we can make quartz by washing some crushed raw gold. But the problem is, to crush raw gold, we're going to need crushing wheels, and I don't have any of those yet. And to be honest, I think going to the nether would actually be the easier way of getting it. By the way, I know I could just use the storage drawers without the storage drawer controller, but that would mean I'd have to sort most of the stuff manually, and, well, that's no fun. I want the controller. Let's get one of those. I'm going to need to get some obsidian, and for that I will need a diamond pickaxe, and I do happen to have some diamonds. Oh, just the right amount that the machine has picked up for me. There we go. There's my achievement, just to prove that I've got them for the first time. There we go. There's one of those. So now I am heading off to the lava pool to turn that lava into obsidian and then to mine it. Here we are then. Just drop a bit of water on there. Can I get it onto that block? I can. Okay, I've got 25 blocks of obsidian, and that should be enough to build a decent sized nether portal here. I've decided to put it in my windmill upstairs somewhere. And that will also give me enough obsidian to take some with me to the nether. Right then, let's light it and see what awaits us at the other end. I'm hoping for a warped forest. We'll see. Yeah, look, there it is. Wow, that's great. This game's being really kind to me. This is not a bad spawning point, actually. Apart from that lava that's heading straight towards me. Well, there's the quartz I wanted. We'll come back and explore around here a little bit more maybe next time. But I've got what I needed and I'm going back home. Great, so safely back home, I can now make some comparators. And I need another diamond. Well, some of these will do nicely. And now I can finally make my draw controller. There it is. And I'm going to put that right in the middle of this building here. A little while later then, and I've got loads and loads and loads of drawers in. So we've got these 2x2 drawers all along the edges, both here on the ground floor and up here on the first floor, and they are linked together, even though it looks like they're not there. If I pop down, you can see that these bits here in the corners are right underneath those drawers there, so they are all linked up. And then these are linked by these trims going along the floor into the middle, and that links up to our master storage controller up in the middle there, and that links to all of these drawers. I'll be honest, this was only meant to be a little kind of starter house storage type thing. It wasn't meant to be my main storage for the entire season, but I might have overdone it a bit. What I need to do now, though, of course, is to get everything from my chest monster and into its new home in the drawers here. And of course, I haven't yet decided what's going where. Alright, so it's taken quite a long time, but I do have the storage now set up into different areas. Let me have a quick show around. So we've got our wood nook over here, which, yeah, okay, I know those things are not wood, but this is wood. Okay, so this is where the wood is going to go. There are a few items, random bits and pieces I still need to take to other places. Take that out of there because that needs to go into the stone zone, which is over this side. Stone zone, there it says it on the sign. So we've got stone over here and wood over there. We've got a little area here. In fact, that's in the wrong place. That's going to go in my redstone component bit, which is upstairs. There it is. So this is all kinds of components. Create components and redstone components are in this area here. Got plenty of space to expand that. Create corner, as you can see. This is my little precious zone. So all the shiny things are going to go in here. And as you can see, I've made a compacting drawer for the iron, so that will automatically turn the ingots into blocks and nuggets, so I can just take out whichever I want, and also means it takes up a lot less space. We've got a bit of food and crops over this side, more crops on that side, our nosh nook. This is where all the colours are going to go, so dyes in here, we've got our wool over there, and we'll put concrete and terracotta and stuff like that in there as well, and all the flowers. So in the middle downstairs, I've got mob drops in this corner here. I've got some other random stuff here, but this is going to be my nether corner. And yeah, some drawer trims and drawer related stuff over here. So not quite done yet, but you kind of get the idea. We've got a bit of organisation going on. It's certainly better than the chest monster we had before. 3 things I set out to do in this episode. I'd say I've now successfully completed one of them, which was to get the storage sorted. But the other two, we've still got some work to do on because this is still looking like a complete mess. And my little mining machine is very much a little mining machine. And I want this to be a little bit more impressive. And while I can add a load more drills to it, there's a bit more that I need to do to make it even more impressive. I've added this scoop on the end here, which is going to scoop up all of the rail that we place down. But at the moment, this machine does not place down the rail itself, and that's what I want it to do. For it to do that, we're going to need deployers, and for deployers, we're going to need brass, and for brass, we are going to need a blaze burner. And of course, that means we've got to go back to the nether and try and find ourselves a fortress. Now, I don't yet have a bow, so this could be interesting. There's a big lava lake over there. That might be a good place to look for a fortress. Isn't that a fortress over there? Or is that just dark? No, it's just darkness. It's just the end of the world. Okay, so over the end there, looks like that is the edge of a basalt delta, which I don't really want to go into. Let's play with some endermen. Why not? We've got pigmen who are going to be angry with me because I'm not wearing gold. I'm not feeling very well prepared. I think I need to prepare better. I'm going back to the overworld. Right, I've got a golden helmet here. So I'm going to swap that and wear that. That will keep me safe from the pigmen. Oh, curse of vanishing. Well, that's okay. If I die, then I'll have to wear some other gold to come back. I've got 11 arrows and 14 feathers. So I'm going to use all of those feathers to make some more arrows. Okay, let's have another go. The good thing is we do have a map, and the map shows a much bigger area than what we've actually explored. So if we have a little look around, we can see there's a fortress over here. Also got a bastion here by the look of it. Is there another fortress around us? Doesn't look like it. Another big bastion over there in the Soul Sand Valley. But yeah, we can see where we need to go, and that's down here. Okay, so we've dug a diagonal tunnel away from the portal towards the direction of the fortress. And I've emerged here in this Crimson Forest. I'm going to try and just carry on the corridor at the same level all the way through and barge my way through so that I don't actually have to go out and explore the forest, because there's a lot of hoglins around here and I don't really want to have to meet them. We'll let the piglins and the hoglins do their thing and we'll try and stay out of their way. For a bit more diagonal tunneling, and I have once again emerged into the Crimson Forest, but this time I can see my destination. Just over there is the nether fortress that we need to get to. I've arrived. Let's see what we can find. That's not a bad start. Oh, my first backpack. I could do with one of them. Bomb. Okay. Blaze. That's not a spawner. It's just a blaze. In fact, I should have made a blaze burner, so I could just catch the blaze. That's what I need to do. I don't actually need to spawn it yet. I forgot to make a blaze burner. That's quite silly. Let's go and make a blaze burner and come straight back. So for an empty blaze burner, I just need some netherrack and some iron sheets. So that's pretty straightforward. I can make all the blaze burners we could possibly want. Well, 11. 11's enough. Let's go and catch some blazes. Okay, I've finally got some blazes that are somewhere near me. Come here, come here. No, come and say hello. I need you nearer. There we are. Well, that's 2. Well, I think 2 is all I need. So I'm going to head home. I didn't find any blaze spawners. I only found a couple of blazes. So if we want more blaze burners, I think we're going to have to come back to the fortress for them, which is a little bit disappointing. But I'm sure we'll find some other fortresses in the future. But now that I've got some blaze burners, what I can do is pop one straight underneath here, like that. And then that can heat our basin, and that will enable us to get some brass. Then we put our zinc into the basin, and our copper. And then we just fuel up that blaze burner. And there we are, plenty of brass. Okay, so now I've added 2 deployers. This one has a filter on it, so that should just place any block that we might dig up, just to make sure that there is always something to place the rails onto. This one will place the rails down onto this block here. And we've added a whole lot more drills to the front. So now I just need to put a bit of coal in there for fuel and obviously the rails to make sure it can actually go along. And then we're ready to take it for another test ride. Wow, that's working really, really well. It just keeps going. It's amazing. Now I can add more drills to this machine to make even bigger tunnels, and also I could add more deployers to it to deploy blocks around the edges to put in a tunnel lining. But for now, I think this machine is doing everything I want it to do, so I'm going to say that is an objective complete. The first objective of this video was to build our storage, which we've done. The second objective was to sort that mining machine out. And the third objective was the hardest one of them all because I'm not very good at this kind of thing, but I want to make this place look a lot better than it currently does. If we settle for slightly better, would that be okay? Well, it's quite a while later and I've been a very busy plod. Let me swing around and show you what I've been up to. I've been making a custom tree, so this is what I decided should go in the middle of the 3 buildings that I've got, and I think that's a big improvement on the mess that we had there. I've tried to model this on the cedar of Lebanon, which is a tree that used to be used a lot in English country gardens by Lancelot Capability Brown. He was a very famous landscaper and landscaped many famous big country houses in Britain. And something Capability Brown always used in his landscapes was the cedar of Lebanon. It was pretty much his calling card. If you see one of these around a British landscape, then you're probably on a Capability Brown landscape. I've made some benches to go around the outside, and obviously we've cobbled in this circle around it as well, and I think that's looking quite good as a bit of a focal point. I've also completed the circle of paths, so now we can go around between all 3 buildings all the way around, and whenever we're popping up a level, I've put in some steps just so that I don't have to keep jumping all the time. I was thinking I'd completely change the path texture, maybe replace it all with gravel or something like that, but actually I quite like the way it looks just being the ordinary kind of light brown path. It could probably do with some bushes and bits of fence posts and things around it, and maybe a little bit of texture, maybe some mud or something like that could work well, but we'll come to that in due course. The biggest monstrosity in the area now though is this thing. On one side of it we've got an aquifer. We've got quite a big cave system and there's quite a bit going on with it. There's a mine shaft going on down there, and I can follow this waterfall all the way down and it will get me down to deep slate level. It's where I've been doing some of my mining for diamonds and so on. So I don't really want to lose the access I've got to that, but I do want to look a lot better here on the surface. And actually talking about the access, maybe I could actually make a pulley system and a lift and plonk that anywhere else I want to in its own building. So maybe I don't need to worry about this at all and I could just fill it in. I don't want to fill it in completely though. I'm only talking about filling it in up to maybe that level because I think the shape of this on the surface, let's go back into free cam. I think that's a half decent shape and I think that could work really well as a lake. I just want to bring the water surface up a little bit to maybe a couple of blocks higher and bring it all the way along. I don't want to flood the cave systems completely, so I will fill it in a little bit. And yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do. Right, so I have lined the bottom of the lake with mud, and there's some cobblestone underneath this just to support it. Did I say mud? I meant dirt, but I do want to change it into mud. So I'm just going to do that now. I think this is a big improvement, and I hope you will agree. Now, when it comes to decoration, there is always more you can do, and so you have to stop at some point. And one of the things I would like to do is get some vines and some mossy blocks around the area, but I don't have any of those yet. So I am a little bit limited. But as far as that third objective of making the area look a little bit better is concerned, well, I think I've done that. But I mentioned there are some blocks that I don't have yet, and I do want to go and find some of those. I want to find all the different wood types. I do want to find some moss and some other bits and pieces. So I think next time we're going to go exploring a bit more. That's it for this time though. Thank you for watching, and if you're enjoying the series, don't forget to subscribe. I'll see you next time. Bye.